As he flipped the coin, Orlando won. They will defer, so the Renegades will get the ball when we kick it off. They'll get it first, but right now, we check in with Jenny Taft.
Well, what an honor to be here with the Garrison Command Sergeant Major Rhodes. Today is a big day. It's a big deal for you guys. We've got professional football at Fort Hood. What does it mean to you, to the Army, to this base, to enjoy some football on Friday night in Texas?
I would tell you, it's not the meaning for me. It's the meaning to the soldiers and the family members of Fort Hood. And I would tell you, we call this place a great place for a reason. It's not just what happens on Fort Hood. It's what happens outside of our gates on Fort Hood when we bring everything together. So this is awesome.
Tell me about the size, the magnitude of Fort Hood, what it takes to support a community like this.
It takes a village, multiple villages. And I tell you what, our team works hard day in and day out to make sure we provide for our service members and their families for this installation.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for having us. Enjoy it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having us.
All right, let's send it over to Jake.
Austin, I know you have family members that served in the military. How special is this opportunity to play here tonight in Fort Hood?
Yeah, obviously it's an honor. You know, what the military does for us and the ultimate sacrifice they make is so much far more important than anything we're doing. So to be able to have this opportunity to play on a military base and be able to play in front of our men and women who serve is obviously a blessing for sure.
A chance for your offense to get back on track tonight. What are the keys to ensure your unit gets that done?
Just got to take what they give us. Just got to move down the field, positive plays, can't have negative plays, and, you know, all that coach quarterback jargon.
Thanks. Good luck tonight. Yeah.
That coach quarterback jargon. We heard it from the quarterback. We'll hear from the coaches as we go through. Anthony Becht, his team 5-2. Tied for the best record in the UFL. Rick Neuheisel tied for the final playoff spot right now going in the final 3 weeks.
Yeah, these are two really good football coaches right here, and I've been excited for this matchup and this game in general. What an amazing environment it is to be here. Fort Hood, such a special place. All of our servicemen and women around the entire globe, we just appreciate your service so much.
Amen to that, brother. Thank you very much. The opening kickoff taken by Ellis Merriweather, and Dallas will start off just across the 30-yard line, and so we'll get our first look at Austin Reed.
I told you needed to get back to that early season form. Kurt, he was phenomenal in the first 3 games. 62%. He had 9 touchdowns and 1 interception, but he's come back to earth in his last 4 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. You heard what he said to Jake. Take what the defense gives. I think that's his charge and what he needs to do here early in this game.
And that's been part of the challenge as he hands it off to start the game. Merriweather just a couple yards out to the 35. Who should we keep our eye on when Dallas has the ball?
Well, Tyler Vaughns is always a guy that's central to this offense. He's number 1. He leads the UFL in targets with 55. They've also been a little bit more tight end oriented over the last few games. 6 catches over the last 3 for Seth Green. Watch out for him. And then Powell in the back end, the corner. This Orlando secondary has been banged up, Kurt. That's one of the reasons they're last in the UFL in passing defense.
Merriweather, they take the handoff to him, and Reed keeps it, but not much running room. There's Jason Taylor. Shuts it down, bringing up a 3rd down.
Yeah, nice opportunity here for Orlando's defense. You know, last week against Houston, they gave up a lot of yardage. 400 total yards, 300 of those through the air. And now here an early opportunity to get off the field on a 3rd and 5.
Here we go. 180. Right side. Turbo set.
Reed won't get a chance to pass as he is sacked. So it'll be 3 and out to start the game. Isaiah Mack, the big man, bringing him down.
Nice rush from Isaiah Mack. He's the interior defensive lineman. He's going to first go to his right, and then he's going to work back to the quarterback right here. He gets the double team, just continues to work, finds himself at the quarterback, and Orlando is able to get a sack. That's not something that they were able to do last week. No sacks against Houston, only 1 in the last 2 games, so a great start here for the Storm.
And a 3 and out to start the game. Not the start the Renegades need to try and snap this 4-game losing streak they're on. Brendan Hall, the big punter. Skies that one. Chris Rowland, one of the best return men in the game, but he is shut down. Not much on the return, but we'll find out what Orlando does the first time they take the ball. Here's Jack Plummer and company on offense.
He's been so efficient. I told you in the open, 12 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Thrown for 64% so far on the year, second leading passer in the UFL. But this is a team that needs to get better on first down, and they need to find some sort of ground game. Jashawn Corbin, their back, he's a guy that's going to need to get going, in particular, Kurt, on first down. They need to run the football efficiently on first down to stay out of third and long scenarios.
And they start Trey Stewart right now in the backfield on this first play from scrimmage. Stewart gets the carry. More of a little speed jitterbug kind of guy. Donald Payne with the stop after a 3-yard pickup.
This is an offense that really relies on yards after the catch, and a guy that does that so well is Elijah Badger. He leads the UFL in yards after catch. He had a couple of long touchdowns a week ago. Defensively for this Dallas team, Donald Payne and Ajane Harris are 2 very good players. Harris in particular, he's probably the best corner in the league. They're a ball-hawking secondary, including a guy not on that graphic, number 24, Sean Wade.
Kick in. Yeah, Liz, here we go.
Dallas showing pressure, and they come. Quick pass by Plummer, and it's incomplete, intended for KJ Hamler, the former second-round pick of the Broncos.
No.
You could hear the no. We got an injury down on the field. And it's an injured member of the Dallas Renegades. We'll take a timeout. Oh, here's a look at the current standings as we go into week 8 here in the UFL. The top 4 teams will make the playoffs, and right now Orlando tied for the best record in the league. Dallas right there with Birmingham and Louisville trying to get that last playoff spot. And there you see Willie Taylor, who is the injured member of the Renegades. Their leading tackler, leading sack guy. So a big loss for him if he can't come back, or a big loss for the team.
180. What's up?
On 3rd and 7. Plummer. And he makes the connection. Good enough for the first down. And Chris Rowland escapes a tackle. Takes it into Dallas territory. Great run after the catch. And you mentioned that earlier, how good they are at that. 25 yards total.
They're the best in the UFL, and it comes down to timing, right? So when you get the ball out of your hand quickly, if you're Jack Plummer, he throws that before he's out of the break. It allows the wide receiver an opportunity to secure that ball and then work after the catch. And this is a beautiful job holding on, securing the football, and then spinning out of the tackle right there of Ajane Harris, number 5.
And the little wildcat here is Jashawn Corbin, the running back, now lined up at quarterback. And he takes the snap and keeps it. Well, you said they needed to get him involved. That's one way.
Yeah, and I think they're just trying to find the right scheme, the right personnel group, whatever it is, to run the football more efficiently. That's something that Anthony Beck talked to us about running the football better. Last week, they just couldn't get it going. 19 carries for 55 yards. They were really bad on first down. They ran it for under 2 yards a carry on first down. What it did is it led to a lot of long yardage situations on third down. It's one of the reasons they were 2 of 10 on third down.
Hey, auto. Here we go. Cap, if he blitzes, get him. Orlando, son.
Corbin takes the handoff from Plummer. Brought down by Kevin Strong after a 4-yard pickup, and now it's 3rd and 5.
Well, this is, where you're trying to get the ball out of your hand quickly here. 3rd, and I would call it medium. Remember Elijah Badger, he's a quality target in there, number 2. And then Chris Rowland, number 12. He's the one that works out of the slot. And I've always felt like on third down, that slot receiver becomes so important. Because if you get any pressure from the linebackers, that's the area that the slot receiver can attack. And we'll see if Rowland gets another third down target here.
Shifts over to the right side.
Orlando, son.
Plummer, quick pass. Hamler, nowhere to go. Wrapped up right away, Quinterio Cole, the first guy there, along with Ajane Harris. So it's 4th down, and remember, in the UFL, after you cross the 50-yard line, you have to go for it on 4th down, either a kick or to run a play. So they will try and make a decision here, and they decided to kick it. Jake Butt.
Yeah, guys, Beck was calling for a field goal kick here, and I just have to say they'll be kicking into the wind. I talked to both kickers pregame. They feel much better about kicking in the other direction. We'll see how this one goes into the wind.
51-yard attempt from Lance in the wind. Didn't help it, I'll say it that way. That's way off target to the right side, and so Orlando comes up empty on their first possession as Michael Lance can't get it through, and we're still scoreless. That means the perfect time to check in again with Jenny Taft down there on the field. Jenny.
I've got another special guest with me, Sergeant First Class Carrasco. Now, you do it all, and I got to ask you about this belt right here as well.
I am the MWR Installation Cruiserweight Champion.
What does that mean exactly?
So the MWR hosts the Fight Night Series event, and the best fighters of the installation get together one night every few months, and then we just go to town and see who comes out at the end.
Kurt, Joel, I have a feeling we're going to have to come back for that. I need to know a little bit more about the daily training here and what it takes to be successful in the Army. I'm so inspired by everyone on base.
So the daily regimen of the soldier here, it's very high intensity, high stressful. It takes a toll on the body, on the mind. Sometimes we could be out in the field for 30 days, 40 days in 103-degree heat, and it's a very high operation tempo here, or op tempo as we call it.
Well, thank you for your service. Let me see this one more time. Guys, this is no big deal. Fort Hood Fight Night. How about that?
Wow.
Thank you.
I think it's a very big deal there. You got the champ with you.
This is great.
They have 34,000 personnel on that base, 170,000 family members, so you got to figure Fight Night's a big deal there.
100%. And listen, when you can say you're the toughest on the
play.
Army base,
That's true.
saying something right there.
Exactly.
Right? My goodness.
Zone of Vic.
We thank him for spending time with us. We thank all of our servicemen and women all around the globe for all they do for us.
Alert. We're good. Turbo shot.
3rd and short. The pitch, and it's taken out. That's the running back Lingard, and he's going to pick up the first down.
Well, this is an offense that we've said is really led by the passing game. You know, they haven't run the football great this year, and they're without their leading rusher tonight. Day Hunter is not going to be in the game, so we're going to see Lorenzo Lingard, like we just saw right there in the conversion. Ellis Merriweather as well will get the carries, and then we'll probably also seek Luke Linehan. He's their backup quarterback, and Kurt, he was in a lot of short yardage situations a week ago.
First down, empty backfield. Reed. And he completes that one outside to Stoops. And Drake Stoops, the son of Bob Stoops, with the catch and a good run after the catch for Dallas. And a nice pick up there on the first down.
I really loved what Austin Reed does here because he moves himself up in the pocket and then he's able to just get to his outlet. And that's just Drake Stoops over there. That's just kind of a flat control route. He's controlling the flat part of the field. And no one covers him. Reed finds him, and that's a nice gain for this Dallas offense.
22 yards officially. Reed, quick pass. Nice zip. Tyler Barnes, their top receiver, falls right there at that first down marker, and suddenly they've got something going.
And Noel Mazzoni, their offensive coordinator, he's a veteran of this game. He's been all over the place. He's coached in the NFL. He's coached in college football here in spring leagues, and he's done a nice job with this offense. And they certainly need to get back to that efficiency that they were at early in the year. And this drive, Kurt, it looks like they're getting there.
Just shy of the first down, so it's 2nd and 1 officially. Another quick pass. This one caught by Baylor Cupp, who gets the first, and the chains keep moving.
It's first down. Hey, Ocean right. Go, Luke, go. Hey, Ocean right. F quick, Army. Ocean right, F quick, Army. Nice job. Drake, go, Drake.
So Austin Reed goes out. You mentioned the backup quarterback, Luke Lennon. He comes in, really runs that RPO run pass option game for them a lot.
Here we go. 180. Like the hunt. Turbo shot.
He keeps it. It slips through.
Left hash. All right. Hey, let's go 11. Go, Austin. Hey, trigger right, 51, X Maybach. Trigger right, 51, X Maybach.
Here we go on the turbo. Trigger right, 51, X Maybach on the right. X Maybach. Trigger right, X Maybach.
And you can see Reed back in at quarterback now with Lennon back on the sideline.
180. Wait, set! Turbo, set!
With time, Reed to the end zone, and it is incomplete. Denzel Mims, the intended receiver, Nate Brooks, broke it up.
I'll tell you, this is such a good read and throw. Austin Reed, he just slipped away from some of that pressure. He slid over to his left. That ball has got to be caught right there. Denzel Mims runs a good route. That should be 6. Really wasn't the defender coming in to knock that out. He just couldn't get control, and Noel Mazzoni, frustrated, knew he had 6 right there.
Mims, the former second-round pick of the Jets, out of Baylor. So after the incompletion, it's 3rd and 6. That one tipped, and it'll fall incomplete, so now it's 4th down.
Nice pressure here from Orlando. Again, this is something that they had struggled with over the course of the last few weeks, getting to the quarterback. And they got a sack on the first series on 3rd down, and here they decide to heat him up. You see the blitz off the edge, and then Reed's trying to dump that ball, kind of a hot route out of the backfield, and it gets batted down. That's a nice stop for Orlando.
And Keyshawn Banks swats it away. And so that'll bring on Colton Thieker for a 31-yard attempt. Thieker only 5 of 11 on the season. The only kicker in the league under 50%. With the wind at his back. Puts it through, and just like that, he's now at 50%. 6 of 12 on the season. But more importantly, it gives the Renegades the lead, even though it could have been bigger. And they hold in this one. But nonetheless, they get points on the drive.
Some pop, some lock, some move robotic. Like cash money, I stay in pocket. You can see, rock, don't stop it.
Well, first score of the game, Austin Reed on their second possession leads Dallas to the field goal, and they're on top 3-0 in this important game here to start week 8.
You know, but Orlando does something that they've been great at, and that's getting tough in the red zone.
Bend, don't break.
Yeah, they were good last week in the red zone against Houston. That's why they ended up winning the game.
KJ Hamler was the man back deep, takes it in the end zone. Let's check in with Jake Plummer, because we talked about Austin Reed. Being a quarterback is about more than just what you do on the field, right?
That's exactly right, Curtin. He's taken on a more vocal role, going back to pregame, hyping his guys up, and then especially after that drop by Mims, saying, hey, no one hang their head. We're going to make this kick. I still trust in you guys. Reed taking on that leadership role.
I love that, you know, because Mims is going to have another opportunity. There's no doubt. And as a quarterback, you got to make sure that your guys maintain some level of confidence. And Mims, he was inactive last week, so he's coming back trying to knock some rust off and probably go back to him pretty quickly.
Especially with the drop that early in the game, you assume at some point you're going to need him later on. So good leadership by Reed. Here's Jack Plummer out to Chris Rowland. And Rowland picks up about 4 yards on the play.
See if Orlando can stay out of those long 3rd down situations. This is really the only thing that has slowed them down, at least last week.
53 lick, super Z drive. That's okay.
And remember, Jack Plummer does a great job of taking care of the football, and you've got to do that against Dallas. They lead the UFL with those 8 interceptions. You just can't take chances down the field against this Renegade secondary.
Plummer's been smart all year long, only 1 pick, and it was at the end of a game back in week 2. Throwing the ball away like that avoids picks, but brings up a 3rd.
There's Colin Thompson,
Gun toy left.
young offensive coordinator.
Z-knife X mesh.
Here we go. Toy
Only
left.
32 years old here, calling plays for Anthony Beck in the Orlando Storm.
Get over top, Wiggles. Wide out row, wide out row. Here we go. Yep. Sit on. 180. What's up?
On 3rd and 7. Plummer on his tippy toes out to Rowland, and they move the chains again. Rowland leads the league in total yards, and he shows you why. Once again, good run after the catch.
Yeah, and he does a great job. Watch him move across the middle of the field here. He's just going to create some space, and then Plummer does a great job of just leading them out right out in front. That's a great throw in the middle of traffic in the pocket. And Roland is doing a heck of a job. And you can tell he's winning that battle right now with the Janae Harris.
20 yards to the 38. KJ Hamler. Dancing.
Oh, give me
Picks
12.
up 4 yards.
Give me 12 here. Give me 12. Let's go Trey Wright, Z-Fine 14 duo. Cam, get in the game, Cam. Go, Cam. Hey, KJ, hop out. Here we go, call it.
Colin played tight end in college ball at Florida and at Temple. He was at Temple when Matt Rule was there. Played in the NFL primarily as a blocking tight end. Couple of seasons with the Panthers. Now here calling the plays. I think Anthony Beck is partial to tight ends.
I was going to say he was a first-round pick as a tight end of the New York Jets. And here's Trey Stewart. Let's see what the call is on third down.
Give me 10 row. Here we go, Lab, the gun, toy right, 63, Y Sailor XN. Lab, the gun, toy right, 63, Y Sailor XN. Let's get it. Here we go.
Lab on toy right, 63, Y Sailor XN. Let's go. Sit out. 180. Wait, sit out. Rip. Here we go. Orlando, sit.
Trying to get to the 28. Plummer going up top into the end zone and is broken up. Good coverage made on the play by Chris Steele just in time.
Boy, they go for broke there, and there's a step. There's an opportunity here for Jack Plummer, but this is a tremendous job by Chris Steele to make up the ground and then get after that ball and tip it away. That was going to be a huge play. Man, I tell you, the extension and the makeup speed after he was down by what I thought was a couple of steps. I thought it was there, and then he's able to get back to knock it away.
So Michael Lance, who missed one from 51 on the last possession, misses from 52.
There's that wind.
Yep.
Jake told us about that wind kicking into the wind, and Michael Lance had been the best kicker in the UFL coming into tonight, and that's 2 misses.
The first one wide right, this one wide left. The wind keeping Orlando off the scoreboard. What a ride it has been for the Renegades this season. They started the season 3-0, averaging almost 32 points a game, only 1 turnover in those first 3 games. Austin Root cruising. But the last 4 games has been nothing but sad face. 0-4 record, scoring half the number of points, 6 turnovers in that time. And Austin Reed has made it a frustrating go right now for Rick Neuheisel and his team.
Yeah, I thought early in the year, this team looked like they were the best team in the league. Had the leading candidate for MVP in Austin Reed. Their secondary was dominant, but they've come crashing back to earth.
Well, this will help a big run by Ellis Merriweather, 13 yards on the first play.
Yeah, nice run right there. This is normally a defense that's pretty good against the run, but they're able to find a seam there. And I think that the adjustment Orlando is trying to make here is that they feel like Dallas wants to throw the football. So what they've got is more guys back, 2 safeties back. Their linebackers are walking out over the slots, and it leaves the middle of that field open. If you can get a seam in the interior run of the football, it is there.
Dallas has taken advantage of it so far.
Turbo set.
Reed stepping up in the pocket and running. First down, nice slide by the quarterback. Another double gain and what should be the final play of the first quarter. 12 yards on the run. And Austin Reed and Dallas trying to extend the lead here in this game from Fort Hood in Texas as we honor our nation's military as part of our Hats Off to Heroes weekend in the UFL. And our Friday night spotlight as we look ahead to the weekend. Well, the Kings will look to sweep the champion DC Defenders after getting the upset last week. The streaking St. Louis Battlehawks have won 3 straight, and then DTR, the Stallions, they're making a playoff push right now. They'll take on Columbus Sunday in our next game for you here on Fox after tonight's game, which comes to you from Fort Hood. The first ever professional football game ever played there. You see Kevin Kelly, who once was a specialist stationed there at Fort Hood. He's now director of security for us.
And he was instrumental in putting this entire operation together, not only the season here in the UFL, which he does a great job, but this particular event here at Fort Hood. What an incredible event it is, just seeing all these faces and football fans getting to enjoy the first professional football game here at Fort Hood. I mean, this is pretty incredible, you know? And it's Friday night in Texas.
There you go.
It can't get any better.
Exactly. Luke Lennon now in at quarterback, and he hands it off. Ellis Merriweather on the short pickup. And we should mention, we talked about the military being involved tonight. This admission is exclusive to military personnel and their families.
Here we go, on the turbo.
I mean, this is a massive base, though. Over, was 170,000 is what they were saying.
That's the family members,
family members, and
here we go.
30,000 service members. That's incredible.
It's the largest installation of the U.S. Army in the United States. Here's Reed under pressure. Throwing on the run. What a throw. My goodness. Greg Ward with the catch, but man, what a toss by Reed. 13 yards.
I love that he kept his eyes downfield and leave it to a former quarterback to help out his quarterback. And that's what Greg Ward was able to do. So here's Reed, and he steps away from the pressure. Now he's on the outside, and you see Greg Ward. You see him work back to his quarterback. Great job. There's the eyes I was talking to you about. Eyes downfield, looking for a completion, and there's Ward. And he's able to find the soft spot for a nice gain and a first down.
Reed 5 for 7 to start this game. And Merriweather gets the carry. Going to be just a couple yards short of the first.
You know, Orlando will get pretty creative defensively. Donnie Abraham, their defensive coordinator, has been so successful. But look at this. There's nobody in the middle of the field there. No levels of defense. You create one little seam, and it's going to be a successful run. That's a good call from Dallas offensively. But this is where Orlando is at their best, is in the red zone. Last week against Houston, only 1 touchdown and 5 red zone trips for Houston. So this is where Orlando is certainly tough.
Turbo shot.
Merriweather dancing his way inside the 10. It'll be first and goal for the Renegades.
Well, Donnie Abraham is going to have to come up with another one of those creative defensive play calls. He's been so good, hasn't he? As a coordinator, he was with Anthony Beck the last couple of years in St. Louis. They're the #1 scoring defense right now in the UFL here with Orlando, but he also led the league last year in St. Louis. And this is one of their keys, is that he finds a way with these pressures and these different looks in the red zone to get themselves off the field and force a kick.
Lennon, the running quarterback, keeps it. Orlando not really surprised on that short pickup of 2.
Well, what they did is they inserted a safety specifically for Lennon there because they know that Lennon's in to run the football. 6 carries a week ago. He's the backup quarterback. They bring him in for a very specialized package of run-oriented offense, and so the safety immediately inserted himself down into the run box, and he was there unblocked to stop him.
Austin Reed back in at QB.
Wait, hot! Turbo shot!
Has time. Merriweather out of the backfield. Down to the 2-yard line. You can see for a second he thought about jumping in the air, decided to keep his feet, so it'll be 3rd and goal.
Well, this is where Rick Neuheisel needs to communicate to Noel Mazzoni. Do you have 2 downs to score here, or do you got to get in the end zone right now?
What would you take?
12.
I mean, you have a successful drive like this, and now you're into the wind. You know, I would think that you would go for it on 4th down. And if you...
Here we go. Hey, Trey right, Z quick, Zona Brady gas on the turbo, right?
So for me, there's 2 downs to score here.
Here we go. 180. Wait, say hot! Turbo shot!
Reed scores on the first one. They didn't need 2 downs to score. Emmanuel Butler with a touchdown reception, and the Renegades extend the lead.
Guys, check out this ball placement right here because Emmanuel Butler has no space. He's working against Brandon Sebastian, and this ball is thrown so perfectly by Austin Reed in the right timing. Look, he just fires that at the back shoulder. Butler is able to just drop out of his route, and even though Sebastian's left arm is right there, he's able to corral that thing for a touchdown. That is great execution from a wide receiver and a quarterback to get in the end zone.
Austin Reed and Dallas scoring on 2 of their first 3 possessions. Here's Colton Thieker to make it a 10-0 lead if he can, but there's a flag before the snap.
I think there's 12 for
Too many
Orlando.
men, defense, 5-yard penalty. The try will be attempted from the 10-yard line.
And what a start for Reed and company.
Now, this is more of what we saw early in the year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
Correction,
Reed
Dallas
active in
has
the pocket.
declined the penalty.
We've seen him kick away from pressure, find an opportunity to get the ball down the field. Some guys on the outside making plays here. Emmanuel Butler, beautiful catch. Greg Ward came back on that play for a first down earlier in the drive. They're playing at a high level right now.
7 completions for Reed to 6 different receivers and a touchdown. Emmanuel Butler catching that one. Talk about efficient. Butler's got 8 catches all year, 4 touchdowns.
I think that's a pretty good percentage, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll take it. Throw him the ball more.
Absolutely, no doubt.
50% ratio, we'll take it. Here's Colton Thieker. The Thieker Keeker. And he puts that one through for the extra point. The Butler did it. Emmanuel Butler with a 3-yard touchdown reception, and Dallas fighting for their playoff survival, up 10-0. 3 of tanks here at Fort Hood Army Base in Texas, dating all the way back to 1942 when the base was founded as a training center for Army tank destroyers to combat German armor during World War II, and that training continues today. Austin Reed and company right in front of the hometown heroes with plenty of reason for them to celebrate as Jenny Taft speaks with the quarterback. We'll check in with Jenny again in just a second. Short kick, that did not make the landing zone. So they'll get the ball at the 40-yard line. Orlando will to start. Now let's check in with Jenny.
Austin, I know you got a lot going on right now. Quickly, just take me into the momentum we're seeing from your offense. Truly, your group is feeding off your energy. I can feel it.
Yeah, I mean, we're running the ball really well, and I'm not making stupid mistakes right now, so that obviously helps. We just got to keep just taking what they're giving us and just methodically moving down the field, no negative plays.
Well, you get back to work. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Efficient even in the interviews.
I love how he says, I'm not making stupid plays. Oh, man, I got to tell you, sometimes it's just got to keep it simple as a quarterback. You know? Don't make the stupid play.
It's a lesson for all of us in life, maybe.
Oh, man, that's the truth.
And so, Jack Plummer ready to take over this offense. They've marched the ball down the field the 2 times they've had it, but missed field goals both times.
Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good.
All right, we're all ready.
All right, hit the cord. Hit the cord.
And so they'll start from the 40-yard line.
Shut up! 180! What's up? That's me.
Low end around taken by Chris Rowland. And he is tackled, no problem. Matt Jones, no flags there, as it was a clean tackle, but another big play by Rowland.
But watch the block right here. This is a tremendous block on the
Holding.
edge.
Offense number 86, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, now you got a holding late there.
10 purple, 10 purple.
I didn't see. They're going to get the tight end here for holding, I guess. But there's the block right there. That's Elijah Dotson. Does a great job of getting that outside leg and chopping down the edge. But you can see the penalty flag coming into the back of your screen. I believe they got
Steven Stilianos.
Yeah, Stilianos played his college ball at Iowa, the tight end there, with the grab on the edge.
An Iowa tight end? I've never heard of those.
Never,
Yeah,
exactly.
You can see the struggles that Orlando has had, not moving the football, just converting it into points on the first 2 drives.
Well, now they're going to be with the wind, and so that wind is not going to be an issue for Michael Lance, their kicker.
On 1st and 20, Plummer stepping up. Open in the middle of the field. Easy catch made by Cam Camper. 25 yards on a first down.
Yeah, great job by Plummer stepping up in the pocket, and then you see Camper on the outside. Now Camper is 6'2", 198, and he just beats Sean Wade to the interior. They're running man coverage, and Wade just doesn't track him to the interior, and that's an easy pitch and catch. Beautiful job there, and in particular after that penalty, they're backed up a little bit, and to move the chains right there, that's a solid play.
180! What's up?
That was intended for K.J. Hamler, but lots of bodies in the way over
field
there.
is an incomplete pass.
J.J. Harris kind of blowing that up.
Yeah, and what they haven't been able to do is target Elijah Badger yet. He came in as their leading receiver, and in particular a guy that's so good after the catch. We've seen Roland after the catch tonight. Be interested if they can try to get Elijah Badger going in this ball game. Last week he had 4 catches, 75 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Was the offensive player of the week here in the UFL, and he has not seen the football yet.
Hasn't had a target just yet.
180! What's up?
Well, they find a way to get the ball into the hands of Jayshon Corbin. A little pitch made. Sean Wade makes the tackle after an 8-yard gain.
Good job.
That makes it a much easier 3rd down situation here, and a tougher defensive play call from Mike Gilhammer, the defensive coordinator.
20. Okay, over cover 4, over 4.
When do we go? Over 4? You're good, you're good, you're good, you're good, you're good. Here we go. Box. Orlando,
hey, alert, box low.
This time it's Elijah Dotson falling forward. Let's see where they spot this ball, because it looks like he's short of the first down.
And now you've missed 2 field goals, although the wind direction definitely played a factor. But this is short yardage. Good play by Meringue, number 92, but here they go.
Yeah, they line up quickly. Quarterback sneak, flags fly, though. It's a first down if it stands, but let's see what the penalty is.
Offside, defense number 33. 5-yard penalty, first down.
And that's on Taco Charlton, the former Cowboy first-round pick.
This is so smart by Plummer. Watch the quarterback. He doesn't just go in right here and just barrel ahead right into all of those defensive linemen. Watch him just go out to the outside. He's like, hey, I'm going to run away from the blue jerseys. You see how he just hops over to the left side? This is a perfect look right here. He's like, I can just go right here, and now I can get the first down. So many times on a quarterback sneak, Kurt, you see those quarterbacks, and they just have their head down, and they just barrel forward and barely get any yardage whatsoever. Smart job right there. Getting over to the bubble of the defense, diving forward for the first down.
And less punishment.
Hey, Badger. 180! What's up?
Plummer up top. First pass from Badger, incomplete. Sean Wade there with him step for step.
Boy, and he liked that coverage. He gave them a little signal on the outside. If you watch Plummer in the backfield, watch right here. He's just going to look over to Badger, and he's going to give him a little bit of a signal. He sees one-on-one coverage, and right here he's like, all right, I'm going to change the route. See that little hand signal? Right there. He does it a second time. He wants that go ball, and he gets back there, throws it down the field, but really good coverage.
Wade, one of the better defenders for the Renegades. Dotson. That play stretched out by the defense. Donald Payne forces him out of bounds. But good play up front by Dallas.
Yeah, nice job getting upfield by their defensive line. And now they get that situation where they can really try to get after the quarterback. And again, no punts inside of 15. Now, they're definitely in Michael Lance field goal range. There's no doubt. And I would think that Anthony Beck will not be spooked by those 2 misses because of the wind direction.
Choice.
I would think that even if they don't get it, he would be happy to have Michael Lance go out there and attempt a long field goal.
Here we go.
And Dallas going to call the timeout.
I think they had only 10 on the field.
Timeout, Dallas, their first of the half. 30 seconds.
Yeah, they only had 10 on the field.
I just heard you say I got it.
We're good.
All right.
Lock in, bro. Everybody tighten up. Tighten up.
And you can hear the talk there. Tighten up. Everybody pay attention.
The coaching staff not know.
Well, on third down, that's a smart timeout. You know, I know you kind of burn a timeout, but it's late in the second, if you will, kind of mid-second quarter. What you don't want to do, because you only have 10 on it, is give up a first down on third and long. So smart timeout there. Orlando has not been able to run the football at this Dallas defense. Only 9 yards on the ground.
We got everybody?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, yeah, we're good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're good.
There we go. New Hazel. It's like good. Follow the leader.
Hey, man. For coaches, just keep it simple.
There you go.
Man, I love Rick Neuheisel.
He is the best
football coach.
And has been at every level. Here's Plummer on 3rd and 10. Completes that one out. Rolling with the catch. He's going to be stopped by Stephen Jones before he can get that first down yardage, but they make a fourth down a little bit shorter.
Good sure tackle by Stephen Jones, and he did something that they coach even all the way down to youth levels, and he had his head on the correct side. If he goes to the inside of Roland can spin out, but his head was on the outside, doesn't allow him to spin out, and produces a fourth down situation here.
And here is Lance to attempt a 43-yarder. Missed his first two, both over 50, kicking into the wind. Now he's got the wind at his back.
Partially kicking into the sun. Is that a problem?
And no problem. So with the wind at his back, that one sails through, and the Storm are on the board for the first time tonight. It's a 10-3 ball game as we come to you live from Fort Hood, Texas.
And welcome back to Fort Hood. It is a beautiful night in Texas, and I know we got a football game going on, but I'm having so much fun getting to know all of you guys. Staff Sergeant Moore joining me now, an Army tanker. But what's so cool about this guy, you started serving in the Marines, made the shift to the Army. Tell me about that transition and why you wanted to continue your service.
I wanted to continue my service in the Army, mainly because, you know, as you know, the Marine Corps got rid of their tanks, and I had to follow the tanks. I believe it's the best job that you can have, not only in the Army, but in any branch of service. And the Army, I just get to touch so many more soldiers. I like having influence on more and more people.
I'm fascinated by the communication and teamwork required to be in a tank. Tell me about the important skills there and how they can be so similar to what we're seeing on the football field.
Oh yeah, so it's very similar to football because we're all a team in the tank. If one person is not doing their job, the whole team crumbles. That's like if the left side of the line isn't good, then the whole offense falls as well. So we all have to work as a team and pretty much get the job done.
Give me a shot of the Spurs. I know they're special down here.
It's right here. Yeah, these Spurs, not everybody gets them. You have to do a spur ride. It's not mandatory, but it's strongly encouraged. You walk around like 30 miles and just do a bunch of exercises in between.
Thank you for your service. Love getting to know you, and truly, this has been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Guys, how about 30 miles?
And do exercises in between?
Here
we go. My gosh.
Isn't the 30 miles the exercise?
Yeah, exactly. Can we drive it? Here's Reed. Little sidearm pass, and it's caught by Tyler Vaughn's. Good open field tackle made by Chris Claybrooks.
You know, what Dallas has done a nice job of so far offensively is that they have not just run their offense through Tyler Vaughn's. I know he gets that catch right there, but he's only been targeted twice. Now, he came in leading the UFL with 55 targets. Bulk of their passing game went through number one, but they've really widened that lens out, Kurt, and everybody is getting an opportunity here tonight.
Here's Lorenzo Lingard getting an opportunity. That was the keeper. Pardon me. Austin Reed kept it, the quarterback.
Yeah,
he runs so rarely.
Lingard was in there in the backfield. It looked like he gave it to him, but he kept it himself and kind of followed Lingard right into the middle there. And now an opportunity here for Orlando. And Orlando, you know, Dallas, they got the kick to start the game, and so they're thinking about a long drive and then getting the kick to start, or excuse me, because they're going to have to kick off to start the third quarter. Orlando has got to get this ball back and have an opportunity to score before the half.
Well, the play
timeout, Dallas. They're
down,
second
so
and a
Austin
half.
Reed forced to call the timeout.
30 seconds.
That's their second of the half, and what a half it's been for Austin Reed and company.
His decisiveness in the pocket has really been the difference. Watch as he's going to escape the rush here, but he sees the open field and he takes off right away. No hesitation. And then here he's able to escape, but his eyes stay downfield. He sees that the defense is reacting to his legs, and he drops it behind him for a completion. And that's just really great execution. Timing ball placement out of the corner of the end zone, and he was able to find Emmanuel Butler for a touchdown. So he's back to that high level that we saw early in the season. I said it earlier, Kurt. Remember the first three, 9 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was thrown for 62%. The Austin Reed that we've seen so far through about a quarter and a half here tonight against Orlando is the same guy that we saw in those first 3 games of the season.
Remember, he came out week 1, set the UFL record for passing yards, 376. The next week, came out through 4 touchdown passes. And so he got out to a fantastic start. The team won their first 3 games. They've lost 4 straight since then. But right now, leaded by a touchdown late in the second quarter. He's trying to get off the snide. Reed, under pressure, sacked second time tonight. And this time it's Delfarius Payne.
Good rush by these defensive linemen. You're going to see them all collapse on this interior of the pocket, and he wants to escape, Reed does, but you can see them just fall back into that sliver of an opening that was there, and they were able to get the sack. Great job by Payne coming back to the inside.
And so only our second punt of the game. Brendan Hall has had them both. And all 6'8" of the kicker going into that football. And here is KJ Hamler getting around the edge, tap dancing along the sideline for a good return. And so Orlando going to have good field position. 44 on the punt, 26 on the return. And we'll see what the Storm can do when we come back. Well, we're on the military base at Fort Hood, which has been an Army post since it was built in 1942. It was originally a testing ground for tank destroyers during World War II. And in 1958, Elvis Presley arrived for training. Right now, 40,000 active duty soldiers, 22,000 reservists go through here every single year. As we said, largest installation in the United States. Geographically, it's the size of New York City, all 5 boroughs.
That's why.
All 5 boroughs put together.
That's why.
That's one base.
Here we go.
And we are honored to be doing this first ever professional football game here at Fort Hood as Orlando takes it over right at midfield. Jason Corbin going to fall forward for a gain of 5 yards. Let's check in with Jake Butt.
Yeah, guys, after that big punt return by KJ Hamler, he looked at his head coach, Anthony Beck. He said, hey, coach, don't worry about the score. We got you. Anthony Beck answered quickly, said, hey, I'm not worried about the score. I trust you guys. I ain't worried. So feeding off each other's energy and hoping to capitalize on a nice punt return by KJ Hamler.
And it gets him good field position to start. And we talked about the receivers on this team, probably as deep as any in the league.
Yeah, and Hamler has dealt with hamstring issues throughout his career, some this year as well. It's good to see him healthy there on that return.
And Corbin fighting his way short pickup. There's Hamler.
You know, when I think about Anthony Beck's teams over the last few years, he's been so successful in the UFL in St. Louis. You know, coming into this year, he was 22-8. There is a player down. There's a Dallas player down. Looked like that was maybe Antoine Jackson, number 52.
Well, while there's an injury on the field, we'll take a quick timeout. We'll be back to Fort Hood right after this. Well, now that we're in week 8 of a 10-week season, it becomes crunch time. If the playoffs were to start today, the top teams here, the higher seeds, would host the games. St. Louis would host Birmingham. The defending champion Defenders would host these Orlando Storm. And you see right there in the hunt, Dallas needing this game to kind of stay alive as they are tied with Louisville and Birmingham for that 4th and final playoff spot.
Yeah, it's a great race for the top seeds and those home playoff games, and then it's just a tremendous race for that last playoff spot here down the stretch.
Yeah, the move to making the top 4 teams, the playoff teams, paying off here.
Yeah, you're good. He's not coming.
In his 3rd season of the UFL action. Plummer on 3rd and 4 converts the first down. right across the marker. Chris Rowland again. And Rowland with his 5th catch of the night for 9 yards.
He's got such a good feel for space. So here's going to be the open space right here. And watch, he's just going to come down and he's going to sit down right there, give his numbers to the quarterback. He doesn't run through traffic and cover himself up. And you can tell Jack Plummer just trusts Rowland. And he knows where he's going to be. He catches the ball and moves the chains.
And you see he's got 60 of their 97 receiving yards already in this game.
180! What's up?
Plummer. And there's Elijah Badger. And Badger's first catch of the night for the reigning offensive player of the week in the UFL. Good for 9 yards.
Going to go quick here to try to get a snap before the 2-minute warning.
Here we go, here we go. Orlando!
And they didn't snap it. Took it to the 2-minute warning, trying to see what Dallas would do. Orlando knocking on the door to maybe tie, take the lead. It's a 1-touchdown game. 2 minutes left to go here in the first half. All right, we're 2 minutes on the game clock away from the Progressive halftime show. We'll take a look around the UFL as we kick off week 8. Jenny Taft will have a live interview, and we'll check out the Dallas quarterback, Austin Reed, let you know a little bit more about him as that sun is setting beautifully at the Magic Hour as it happens here at Fort Hood, Texas, as we are on the U.S. Army base for the first ever professional football game on a military installation. Orlando down by a touchdown, but in Dallas territory, and converting the first down inside the 20. Elijah Badger, catch number 2.
This is a great job of using motion to open up an area of the field. Watch as this motion's going to go here, and it draws the man coverage. What does that do? It opens up this spot of the field. You get a slant right there. Good job by the formation, the play call there. Colin Thompson, the young coordinator, doing a good job.
You're good, you're good. Come on. You're good. Get on the ball. Get on the ball, Badger. Get on the ball. Here we go.
You can see Plummer trying to get Badger lined up properly. Badger still looking at the sideline, and Plummer forced to go the other way instead. Out of the backfield, Ja'Shawn Corbin. J.J. Harris with the tackle.
He wanted to go over to that side.
Right, but he wasn't looking.
I don't think Badger had the play. He's looking back to the sideline because he didn't hear the
Dallas.
play.
Yellow, line up in him, and gun Dolphin right, 63 Dallas.
63 Dallas on Orlando. Comes out. Hey, let push. Here we go. Orlando, touch.
Plummer looking that way this time, and it's incomplete. Luckily for him, it was not picked off as Sean Wade got a hand on it.
Yeah, Wade's got 3 interceptions this year, so he's
Give
very
me 11
lucky
cam.
that wasn't
Give me 11
picked off.
cam. 11 cam. 11 cam. Here we go. Gun slot right. 53 chest. 11 cam. 11 cam. Gun slot right. 53 F chest. X Witten. X Peel F Witten. Gun slot right. 53 chest. X Peel F Witten.
And you can see Orlando forced to call a timeout. They couldn't quite get the play called in.
No, and Jack Plummer is frustrated. You can tell. You can just see the frustration. You can hear it in his voice.
Well, this is as deep a penetration as they've had all night. 2 plays ago, you had a little miscommunication with the wide receiver. Then you couldn't get the play called in. So you could see the frustration building up. Probably a wise use of a timeout just from an emotional standpoint, if nothing else.
Just to calm down, I think that you're exactly right. In particular on 3rd and 11, you want to get this conversion. You want to get into the end zone, try to tie this game up.
I know. Gun slot left, 52. X Peel Witten, wide chest. Okay, on one, right? Let's go, Cam. Hey, comes right. Go.
Last minute of the first half, you see Orlando will also get the ball to start the second half, so trying to double up.
189. What's up?
Here's Plummer on 3rd and 11. All kinds of time. And that one caught out by Cam Camper, who falls forward and got enough for the first down.
Yeah, nice job here of finding the open area of the zone. They run zone coverage here, and watch him exploit this little hook area on the outside, and then he settles down right there. Plummer expects him to settle down, and he does. They're able to get the conversion. Nice job in protection as well by that offensive line.
Needed 11, they got 12, and it'll be first and goal from the 8.
180! What's up?
Plummer protected. Throws it underneath, falling backwards is Wigless, but he's going to be stopped at the 1-yard line.
Plummer.
Inside 20 seconds. Quarterback sneak, diving over is Plummer. Touchdown, Orlando. And the Gronk spike.
What a drive there. Great execution inside of 2 minutes. They're able to get that ball into the end zone. They'll get the kick to start the second half. We saw earlier Plummer did a really nice job on the quarterback sneak to go to his left and dive forward for the first down. Here he goes up and over the top, extends that football right when it hits the goal line. It's dead. It's a touchdown. That is a really nice job. Hey, credit to the offensive line, too. He had a lot of protection. He had a lot of time on a lot of those plays here down the stretch in this series, and he was able to get some completions and find his way into the end zone.
And Michael Lance makes it a tie ball game with 14 ticks left to go here in the first half.
He sees everyone on that defensive line so low, and rather than go to the side, you can see that there's some stand-up defenders on the edge of the defense, and he's able to just extend that football, and again, you control it all the way, and as soon as that touches the goal line, that's a touchdown. They can knock it out after that point. You just got to make sure you get there, and then the Gronk spike. What a good series for this Orlando team. In particular on the heels of a game in which they really struggled offensively. Remember, last week they only had 185 yards total, Kurt, and they were able to get that win 24-23 over Houston in part because they scored defensively. So a 10-play, 50-yard drive in that situation, inside of 2 minutes, taking 4 minutes off the clock, that's going to build a lot of confidence going into the half.
Yeah, there are over 150 total yards already in this game, and Jack Plummer with his first rushing touchdown of the season.
What a great answer, because Dallas had been controlling this game with their offense, and it all started, I know it was a while ago because it's a lot of plays, but good punt return set him up with pretty good field position.
And so Orlando will try to get one more defensive stop, take us to halftime, and they'll start the second half with the football in a tie game. Dallas looking for a great return to set things up. Lingard out across the 30-yard line. We'll see what they do with the final seconds here of the first half in an important game. We mentioned Orlando, with the win tonight, would officially clinch a playoff berth with 2 games left. By the way, their last 2 games, home against the defending champion DC Defenders and on the road against DC.
Man, you're going to settle that number 1 seed right there, potentially, you know, depending on what St. Louis does, obviously.
And Dallas needing to win to stay alive in the playoff race. They are tied for that final spot. And speaking of ties, we have a tie score as we head into the locker room. 10-10, Orlando and Dallas all even in this game from Fort Hood, Texas. Let's check in with Jake Butt on the way to the locker room.
Well, Coach, a back-and-forth first half, another competitive first half. How would you assess your team's play?
Well, we got out of the blocks fast. Unfortunately, got held to a field goal that first drive. We kind of missed some third down opportunities here in the last couple of drives, and we're not getting off the field on third down on defense. We got to get a little bit more of a pass rush on them, see if we can cobble that together and play a little bit more balanced on offense.
It seems like the team's feeding off the energy of your quarterback, Austin Reed. What stood out to you about his play in the first half?
Well, I thought he was pretty much on point. A couple of times maybe he could have stayed on something a little longer, and sometimes he stays on. But that's what quarterback development. We're going to get him right. He's a competitive guy, and he'll play great in the second half.
All right, thank you, Coach.
And as Austin Reed said himself, he didn't do any stupid things at quarterback. Here's our Pods. Big move of the first half, and it is Austin Reed.
Nice scramble up the middle. Found the space, and he's able to slide for that first down. And then just a beautiful throw for the touchdown. Just let it rip right there. Back shoulder. He finds Butler. And Dallas was in the end zone. This is setting up to be a heck of a football game here. Tie score at half.
All even at 10. We'll be back with the Progressive Halftime Show. Coming away live from the U.S. Army base in Fort Hood after this intermission.
Don't worry about it. I'm going to keep coming to you, okay? You good? Look at me. Hey, are you good, though?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to keep coming to you. Don't trip at all. Come on! Yeah! Woo! Come on! Hey, trust me, baby. Trust me. Let's go. I promise I'll listen to you.
I know you do. I know you do.
I love you, boy.
Okay, just have fun. Have fun.
Well, lots of love early on as Austin Reed and Dallas scored the first 10. Orlando scored the last 10, including a touchdown right before halftime. They get the ball to start the second half. And Jake Butt is standing by with the Orlando head coach, Anthony Beck.
Coach, I know you told us you felt the offense was so close last week. What stood out to you about that unit there in the first half?
I mean, we love to start faster. I mean, we're in the spot get some points business right now, So in order for us to respond, we got to be down apparently, right? But we fought back. We stayed the course. Good things happen. It was a great way to end the half. Perfect with no time left on the clock. Now we come back and we get the ball. We got to have some urgency. I think guys are in it. They're good. Just got to come out, man. It's been a great environment. It's been a great time to be out here with the military families and everything. But we got to show them something. We got to put a show here on the second half.
A win would allow you to clinch a playoff spot. Overall, what does your team need to do to make that happen?
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything to us. I told the guys we got 30 plays, 5 seconds for each play. That's all you got. So give me the exertion for those 5 seconds and then reboot and do it again 30 times. Everybody's got that right now. If we can do that, we're going to win the game. But we have to do that every play till the end. 2 quarters left, man. We got to finish.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Well, they got a chance to run one of those plays right out of the gate here to start the second half. Jack Plummer and the Storm scored the touchdown on his 1-yard dive right before halftime to tie the game up at 10 apiece. And a short kick taken on the bounce. That's Jashawn Corbin bouncing off tacklers. Flagged down on the play as he's brought down at the 45. Only 2 penalties between the two teams entirely in the first half.
During the return, holding receiving team number 30. 10-yard penalty, 1st and 10.
And so they'll start the second half backed up a little bit. Joe, talk about this first half by Plummer.
Well, I thought he was really good. And one of the things that he did in particular late in that second quarter is that he was patient in the pocket and he allowed routes to develop. Here they took advantage with a good formation and a motion, got a slant over to the left side. And Plummer did a great job finding time in the pocket, finding completions, going to his second and third option in terms of the passing progression, and then there up and over in the quarterback sneak. And one of the things Orlando wanted to do better was run the football. Well, they haven't been able to do that. Still under 2 yards per carry tonight. So what they've done is they've leaned into Jack Plummer and his arm. 20 passing attempts so far.
When they fake the handoff to start the second half, that's Elijah Badger. Going to be just a yard shy of the first. 9 yards on the first play.
9 yards, that's 9
The
yards,
things that
buddy.
Dallas has struggled with is finding the right combination on defense, because you see that Chris Rowland in the middle of your screen, 5 catches, 64 yards. They've been unable to defend him in man-to-man coverage, and when they go man-to-man, 12 is the one that needs to be the target. It's man-to-man right now, and then when Dallas decides not to play man, Orlando has been able to find some free space with those little hook routes over the middle.
Trey Stewart hesitated just a little bit, and Dallas made him pay. Dominique Davis, the first guy there.
It's got to be frustrating for Anthony Beck to not be able to run the football, even on a short yardage like that. And Dallas was ready. That interior of their defense, they've done a nice job. Again, Orlando unable to run the football. Mike Gilhammer, the defensive coordinator, here on a third down, he's got to decide whether he wants to play man coverage and keep everybody in that box expecting another run, or try to maybe even double team Rowland in the slot.
On 3rd and 1, Plummer with the keeper, first down and more. There he is into the open field. Jack Plummer, the quarterback, not known for his running ability, but takes it all the way in for the touchdown. 71 yards of steady speed.
They use the formation again and the motion. Watch the motion right here. It's going to drag defenders out of the box. Then you get a route here. What does that do? Drag more defenders this way. They lead the tight end up along the left side. That's Sean Bowman. And then how about Plummer showing some speed, able to run away from a Jane A. Harris who tried to punch that ball out inside the 5-yard line. Plummer was high and tight. He's into the end zone. What a score and a start to this third quarter for this Orlando Storm team.
What a start. And talk about those last two possessions. As Lance gives Orlando a touchdown lead. They were down 10-0 in the second quarter. But then Jack Plummer took over. A 1-yard touchdown dive to end the first half. And he starts the second half in style. His second rushing touchdown of the year and the game. And they're up by a tutty. That was our game flow, brought to you by Progressive. Well, Jack Plummer, 71 yards, the longest run of the entire UFL season, and he takes it into the end zone for the touchdown. I think the man deserves to catch his breath for a little bit. He's just put this team on his back these last two series.
Well, I tell you, as a quarterback that's not going to be generally a runner, the only person more surprised than the head coach is you when you run down the field for that long.
Merriweather out across the 35-yard line. Let's check in with Jack, who's with Jake.
Jack, that was the longest run in this UFL season. You showed off the wheels a little bit. Take me through what you saw out there on that play.
Yeah, we had a little zone recall with the tight end coming back around, and just able to get around the edge, and guys were blocking downfield for me, and luckily I was able to sneak my way in there.
So I was on the sideline. I heard some guys say 4.4. I think one person said 4.3. How fast do you think he got to on that touchdown run?
Not that fast. I wish I could say that, but not that fast.
Thanks, man. Awesome run.
Well, it wasn't that fast, but no one caught him. And that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, he's fast enough. That's the answer, Kurt.
Yeah.
How fast are you running? Fast enough.
He stayed ahead of everybody. 17 unanswered points by Orlando here. And once again, with a win, they clinch a playoff spot here.
Well, you talk about the middle eight. Coaches always talk about that last 4 minutes of the first half, first 4 minutes of the second half, and Orlando has dominated this section of the game. It was 10-3, now all of a sudden 17-10.
Is Ellis Merriweather. Short 1-yard pickup on the play. Third and long.
And just think about how long it's been just normal time since Dallas was on the field. They were playing so well offensively, and it feels like it's been, Kurt, it's been almost 50 minutes of real time since Dallas had a meaningful series. You know, this is an offense that's going to try to regain that rhythm, and it's going to be difficult to do.
This game has kind of been typical of what's happened the last 4 weeks for Dallas. Get a lead and then lose it. Here's Reed along the sideline, and diving is Emmanuel Butler, and he's going to be right at the marker.
Well, it looked like he reached out.
It did. It looked like it. They're debating where to spot it.
And that ball was in his right arm. So where was the ball when his knee actually touched? It looks like he's across there. It looks like that ball is spotted probably wrong by about a half a ball. If they don't give him the first down, this
the
would
play
certainly
has been
be.
reviewed. The ball is advanced to the 48-yard line for first down.
Yeah, nice job by our command center seeing that replay. Beautiful shots by our crew. By the way, folks, our crew, what a job they've done. Not easy to put on this level of broadcast in a stadium like this. What an incredible environment it's been, but these shots have looked fantastic. Our camera guys, everybody out here has worked overtime to create this setting for you at home, and these folks in the seats. It's quite an environment here.
We've got the best in the business here at Fox. No doubt about it. There's Ellis Merriweather once again up the middle with a nice run right through the teeth of this Orlando defense. Give him 17. A little pushing and shoving afterwards. He got back up. You want to make sure he was down.
Kurt, here's what happens here. You're going to move up on the outside, but watch this. You've only got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys in the interior. You can get them blocked up very easily, and they run right at the interior of that defense. And at that point, it's just an equation. It's just a math game. You've got more bodies than they do. They were able to get them blocked up in the interior, and Merriweather with a nice game.
The runner was down at the 37-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10.
Yeah, they were checking because he rolled over on a body before touching down, and so it's going to be about a 3-yard difference depending on where they spot this. 17 on the run, or now they're backing it up saying it was 15. So they're saying he was down before rolling over the body.
Hey, here we go.
Now they got it straightened out. Nonetheless, a first down for Dallas.
And found that rhythm I was talking about. Tough after that long break. Not on the field, but those last couple of plays, just beautiful plays.
Running game, getting it going for the offense.
180. 180, set.
From the 37, Merriweather.
Doubles
left on the second down call.
63, Z Dodge Sale. Doubles left, 63, Z Dodge Sale. T angle.
Here we go. Turbo on the turbo. Doubles left, 63, Z Dodge Sale, T angle on the turbo, right?
You hear Sale, I always think of a corner route. You know, if you get a man look or a cover 2 look, those corner routes generally are pretty good.
Reed looking to throw. Escapes the pocket, downfield, got a man open, and it is caught. Seth Green with the touchdown for Dallas. And the tight end with his first touchdown of the year. Hey, his dad stationed there at Fort Hood. That's my boy.
Coach Neuheisel said they had some stuff planned for Seth Green, playing in front of his dad here at Fort Hood. What a setting. They're always going to remember this. And this is a bit of a broken play. And again, Austin Reed, just as he did in the first half, is able to elude the rush, keep his eyes down the field. What a great adjustment by Seth Green. You see him just take off deep, and he was able to get down the field. Reed finds him for a touchdown. It looks like Orlando is challenging this play, probably some sort of potential holding call in the middle of that offensive line.
Dean, did you get that?
That is what they're challenging.
He's going to
whether or not
challenge
there's a hold.
holding on 52, which I believe is the left tackle.
It's holding of his number.
Yeah, of his 52. Yeah. The left tackle is who he was going up against.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Yeah, so we're looking at this. Look, the end of this looks ugly, but the defender's going to try to spin to the inside, and the left tackle just shoves him to the ground. I'm going to show you. I'm looking at my sky cam. Again, I don't see a grab or hook with the right arm. He really just overpowers him. Look at my reverse 50. Again, he tries to spin to the inside, and he just throws him to the ground. Here's our TV replay. Again, he's spinning, and he just throws him, kind of pushes him with that left hand. It's not a takedown, it's just a push down. So after review, Chris, we do not have holding. The ruling on the field stands.
Orlando challenged for a foul of holding by the offense. After review, there is no foul for holding. The score is good. Orlando is charged a timeout and may not challenge for the remainder of the game.
And so the touchdown stands. Alex Akingbulu just dominant there at left tackle on that play, setting up the 36-yard touchdown.
I mean, I'm sure live in front of Anthony Beckett it looked like a hold, but Dean Blandino had it exactly right. He just manhandled him and threw him to the ground. It's a good call from Dean and an excellent play for Dallas. What a series there offensively.
And as you said, what an answer after Orlando scored to start the second half. Seth Green with his first touchdown of the year. More importantly, it ties the game at 17 each. And not only did he score for the first time, he did it in front of Papa, giving Dad a little bit of love, and Dad certainly giving it back. Just before the break, Seth Green getting into the end zone. I mean, that's wide open to tie the ball game. Dallas and Orlando all even at 17. Green scoring in front of his dad, who will join us for an interview right after the kickoff. And we'll see if we can get Seth too. But he's got to work first. He's on the kickoff team. So we'll see if he can get back to the sideline quickly enough, as we've got ourselves a good ball game here to start off week 8 in the UFL. Chris Rowland out across the 30-yard line. He's brought down, and let's check in with Jimmy Tapp.
Well, Kurt, it doesn't get much better than this in so many ways. Colonel Green here with me, of course, just watching son Seth. Now, I saw you celebrate. How about this? Your dad here to watch that score.
Yeah, he got out of his military work this weekend, came to support, so glad we had the troops game close by. He could come. It's just a blessing, man.
What does it mean to your family to watch your son, of course, to celebrate the Army today?
Hey, it's God's plan, and we're blessed, and we thank, and we look forward to supporting all of them and everything that they do. And we're just glad that you guys came out to Fort Hood to support the Army, to honor the heroes, and we appreciate that.
Speaking of heroes, I mean, your dad, he's a hero for you, and just what he does, just describe it.
Yeah, I mean, everything. Like, he's a hero, whether it's, you know, in the Army, whether it's at home, whether it's taking care of us, leading the house. You know, there's never a question of how much love he has for his boys, and that's just a blessing, man. You can't communicate that properly. It's God sent for real.
Appreciate that. And, you know, just this last note of, we're so proud and thankful for what you do for our country, but you as dad, how do you compare those two roles in your life?
Hey, you know, like I said, we first start off with our faith. We believe in faith, we believe in the man above, and we use him to mold in how we raised our kids, me and my wife, Teresa. And we all say it's God's plan. We trust in him and what he do. And then I want to give a shout out because we are men of achievement in every field of human endeavor. And then dust off for the U.S. Army Dust Off Corps.
I'm so proud of this family. I'm proud of this moment, and you got to go get some more plays.
Yeah. Game's not over. Got a game to win.
Thank you, Seth.
All right, that's one of my favorite moments that we've had in the UFL. This is so cool. Jayshon Corbin just made the catch, but there you see Brian Green, the colonel, father of Seth Green, getting a chance to see him, and there they are way back with. Man. So from that moment to the special moment that we had tonight, Dad proud. And we mentioned, of course, Brian Green. Obviously, you can see he's in the U.S. Army. But Teresa Green, Seth's mom, also served in the Army. So an entire military parentage for Seth Green. Orlando trying to answer. KJ Hamler with a 10-yard gain on first down, moves the chains.
I know there's some quality football here, but I just want to echo your sentiments. That was one of the coolest interviews and just moments that I've ever experienced in my career in television. That was awesome. And I'm the son of a former Marine. My dad was a first lieutenant in the Marine Corps of an artillery division in Vietnam, and I couldn't be more thankful for his service and all the sacrificial service that our servicemen and women, you know, put forth around the globe. I know we continue to say that, but man, it just keeps coming to the forefront tonight.
And this is the first game of our Hats Off to Heroes weekend in the UFL as we continue to celebrate the sacrifices made by military members all over the globe.
So as we get back to football now, okay, so here's what's going on in these last few plays is that Orlando has been taking advantage of the man coverage. I've shown you several times as they've used the motion and the formation in order to attack specific areas of this Dallas defense. And so now Dallas and Mike Gilhammer, the defensive coordinator, is going to have to adjust, find a different coverage, some other structure to defend what Orlando's trying to do.
Plummer scrambling, directing traffic, and wisely just throws that one out of bounds. Once again, the Storm clinch a playoff berth with the win tonight. Top 4 teams at the end of this 10-week regular season go into the playoffs. This is game number 8.
Hey, run Dalton right stack.
You know, and they've performed well. I know we got a tie ball game, but remember now, Orlando has missed 2 field goals. They've moved the ball all night long. They have not punted yet, Kurt. So this offense has been in rhythm, moving the football the entire game.
And those 2 misses in the first quarter against the win and over 50 yards each. Plummer, good sliding catch made. Cam Camper, 17 yards.
Good movement in the pocket again, both of these quarterbacks finding a little space. Here, Plummer is just going to slide over to his right, and then he keeps his eyes down the field, allows that deep in route to find the middle of the field, and Cam Camper comes down with it for a first down.
Wait. Pose right, smoking. Smoke. Sit on. Smoke. 180. What's up?
From the 20. Corbin. Nowhere to go. Going to lose about half a yard on the play.
11 purple.
11 purple.
Gun trout right, H orbit, 352 H blimp, X slant. Gun trout right, H orbit, 352 H blimp, X slant.
Here we go. Gun trout right, H orbit, 352 H blimp, X slant. On one, right? Good job from Sam.
They're going to have a 3-by-1 formation. 3 receivers to the right side, 1 to the left side. You've got an X slant over here, okay? So if he likes the slant window, he's going to take this. If not, he comes over and he plays the H blimp.
And another throwaway. 3rd and long. What do you do?
Here we go. Let's go 20. Go 20, 20, 20. 20, 20, 20. 20, 20, 20. Gun, change right, classy. F shuffle. H checkers. X sick.
Here we go. Gun, change right, classy. F shuffle. 52 H checkers. X basic. On one, right? Get your depth, too. Drive. Yeah. Rush. Time out. Time out.
Plummer taking command of the offense, just saying, hey, let's get a timeout.
30 seconds.
Their second timeout here on this long 3rd down. Wanted to make sure they get the right call.
Also, it's 3rd and 10. Are we really want to call checkers? Do you want to call checkers?
If they're standing next to Art, then they should be.
We've mentioned the importance of this game for Orlando. This is important for Dallas as well if they want to stay alive in the playoff hunt, as they're tied with Birmingham and Louisville for that final spot in the UFO.
Yeah, and they had a great chance to win that game against Birmingham last week. They would have been in that 4th spot if they were able to make the game-ending field goal. They had a chance to win it with a field goal at the end. It was blocked. They lost that game in overtime. Frustrating, obviously, for Rick Neuheisel. They had played pretty well in that game against Dorian Thompson-Robinson on the road in Birmingham, and here walked in another tight one, tied at 17 here in the 3rd quarter.
Empty. What is it, Zoom? Here we go. Zoom. Mini, Zoom. Sit on. 180. What's up?
4-man rush. Plummer hit down low as he throws. Still wound up connecting with Chris Rowland. Just going to be shy of that first down marker, it appears. Gain of 10. So just a yard short.
Man, it is very close.
Dual left, 23, Willie
He needed to get the 10-yard line. No, he was across, and that yellow soccer line on the field, I know we all look at that yellow line and we think that's the first down line, but he was across the first down marker by about a yard.
So it's 1st and goal from the 8. Corbin fighting, kept his feet all the way down the 2-yard line. Good second effort by Jayshon Corbin.
Take.
Boy, tough to run in the middle. But this is a series you got to punch it into the end zone. This is an attitude series right here for Orlando. About to be the 12th play of the drive.
Did you report? I right, classy, 14 blast. I'm on, right?
And they bring in Delpharius Payne, the defensive end, to play fullback.
180. What's up?
Corbin tries to follow him, and he does, into the end zone, and Orlando retakes the lead.
Good job.
They have an extra offensive lineman in at tight end right here, and you've got Payne, the defensive tackle, and watch these blocks just opening up a little bit of a lane. What a great job. And then obviously Corbin keeping his legs underneath him, churning for the end zone, and they're able to go down and score. I tell you, the last 3 possessions for Orlando have been impressive right down the field against this Dallas defense, and Dallas has had no answer for the Storm in this offensive attack, the efficiency of Plummer, and then the run game inside the 10-yard line.
Lance on to make it a 7-point game again. Caps off a 12-play, 69-yard drive. Jashaun Corbin, his first touchdown since week 1 of the season, and it gives Orlando the lead in a game that if they win, they clinch a playoff spot. Lots of happiness going on here in Fort Hood tonight, no matter which side you're rooting for. Well, the troops here at Fort Hood getting in their PT earlier today. Physical training, of course, going on. We mentioned 40,000 personnel, Army and airmen from the Air Force, all stationed here. 170,000 family members as well. And this is the kickoff for our Hats Off to Heroes weekend in the UFL. We come to you from Fort Hood U.S. Army military base in Texas. And it's been a heck of a ball game. If you like offense, this is the one for you. Only 2 punts tonight in Orlando with a touchdown lead and 300 yards of offense with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. And taken right at the goal line, you got to bring that up. Ellis Merriweather, a little indecision, may have cost him a couple yards, but they get out to the 25-yard line. And so Austin Reed will try to answer once again.
Tell you, these are the type of games that you just love as a quarterback. Austin Reed has been good, 10 of 13 for 106, 2 touchdowns.
On the turbo, trigger left, Sonic Brady, F fine, on the turbo, right?
Because you just get the sense, you get the feeling, you're sitting on the sidelines, you understand that the other offense hasn't been stopped, and you get the sense like, all right, whoever has the ball last, you know, who's going to flinch, who's going to blink first. And as a quarterback, you love that challenge.
Oh, he hands it off, Lorenzo Lingard, dancing his way and lowering the shoulder as well. Good job of knocking over Jason Taylor for a couple of extra yards, 12 total on the first down run.
You know, both of these teams, I wouldn't say that they've been dominant on the run, but they've run it enough and efficiently enough that they have been able to keep the defenses honest and then throw the football efficiently because of that.
Cold. We're good. Turbo, shot!
Another handoff taken by Lingard. Short gain on the play. You mentioned the efficiency of this Dallas offense. Looking at Austin Reed's numbers, 10 of 13. He's hit 8 different receivers, so they've spread the ball out tonight.
Yeah, and normally, as we know when we cover this Dallas team, it's a Tyler Vaughn's passing game, and it hasn't been tonight. They have spread it around. Vaughn's only has 2 targets, 2 catches, and 13 yards. Everybody has gotten into the action.
Turbo shot!
Lingard again through a hole across midfield, and another good run as they are approaching 100 yards rushing tonight. That will put them at 100 exactly. 11 yards.
No, this is such a good job by this offensive line. And again, this Dallas team not really known for running the football. Beautiful job there pulling around Mike Nowitzki. Played this college ball at Kansas, number 60 with a good block. And Lingard with another successful run.
180.
Against this Orlando defense, which came in number 1 in the league against the run. Giving up just 84 yards a game to the air off the hands of Stoops. It falls incomplete.
Hey, we're good. Here we go. Turbo here. Turbo. Trigger right. 65Y Honda on the turbo. Ready? You good? Check flat. Here we go. 180. Wasted height. Turbo shot.
Reed slings it off the chest of Denzel Mims. That's his second drop tonight.
We're good. We're good.
So frustrating. Obviously for Mims, he knows he's got to catch that ball. He dropped a sure touchdown earlier in the game. Now hits him right between the numbers. Lets it get all the way to his pads, and then it's just the ejecto chest.
T-angle on the turbo, ready? I got it. I got it. Here we go.
You mentioned the former second-round pick out of Baylor for the New York Jets. Another third and long situation. Movement on the right side for Dallas.
False start. Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Corey Stewart called there. Let's check in with Jake on the sideline. Jake.
Yeah, guys, I know Dallas has a third and long here, but I can't help but think that with the way they've been able to move the ball against this Orlando defense, Orlando's really missing Tavante Beckett and Isaiah Buggs. Standing down here on the sideline next to Buggs, he's been very vocal, calling out different signals and calls to his defensive linemen, trying to get him fired up.
You mentioned those two of the best players on this Orlando defense. As the clock winds down, the third quarter is now in the books.
I wasn't anything.
Well, each team has scored when they touch the football here in third quarter. It's been a back and forth contest, and right now, Orlando goes into the final period up by a score.
And welcome back to the UFL on Fox. A beautiful Friday night at Fort Hood. I have more special guests with me, Sergeant First Class Pelkey and Specialist Sanchez. Get this, the Armed Forces Chef and Pastry Chef of the Year. I'm very impressed by all of this. Now, Specialist Sanchez, tell me a little bit about the competition, what went into it, and what an honor.
So we took about 6 months to prepare. It happened this February, and it was such an honor to go and compete against the armed forces. And yeah, it was great. It was a great time.
Congratulations. I think about the role that you guys have here, truly fueling the Army. There's a big responsibility there. Just how would you equate your role and your place here at Fort Hood?
So for me, here, training and feeding the soldiers, it's all about the gratitude that I see on the soldiers' face when they've had a long, hard day working in the field, excuse me, and coming in and eating in the Warrior Restaurant, or be it in the chow hall at their field site. Just seeing their expression of when they eat that warm food and how it tastes, and being able to provide a nutritious, healthy meal to those soldiers after a hard day of work.
Come on, come on.
Thank you guys both for your service. I got to come have some meals sometime soon.
Sounds good. You're more than welcome.
Thank you guys. Kurt?
Going to the Chef of the Year is probably a good place to go. And Denzel Mims makes it pay off that Austin Reed went back to him after those two drops.
I tell you, he told him he was coming back to him, and he had a drop earlier on this drive. It was a costly one, but he
number
comes
75.
back, and he's able to get this
penalty,
one right down the seam. But there was a late flag for holding in the backfield. I thought that was going to be called, and I didn't see the flag come out right away. There's the catch from Mims. He's finally able to haul one in, and it goes for nothing.
Yeah, that negates a 37-yard reception by Mims and a first down. You see on the left side, that's the left tackle, Alex Akingbulu, who's called for the hold.
That was absolutely the right call. There's no doubt. That was a great rush by Keyshawn Banks. He leads the UFL in tackles for loss with 9 and quarterback pressures. And that was a costly penalty. Would have moved the chains. And now Dallas backed way up, 4th and 27.
That's a 47-yard penalty, but
here we go.
More importantly, it takes them out of scoring position.
I believe they had crossed to the 50 as well, so that's why they're going for this.
Reed, just not enough arm on that one. No flags so far on the play. Tyler Vaughn's the intended receiver. They covered by Claybrooks. You can see Austin Reed wanting the challenge to try and see if they can get the interference penalty.
That might be a good challenge if you're Rick Neuheisel, because that is some seriously good field position.
5 minutes. You have to challenge it if you want them to review.
I will. I'll challenge it. Challenge it. It's interference.
Alex.
So this is part of the super challenge system
with
here
you.
in the UFL, where you can challenge any play if you think there should have been a penalty called and it wasn't.
Do we have an ice?
Dallas is challenging the play for defensive pass interference. The play is under review.
All right, I'm looking at my live shot, and TV's showing a replay here. The receiver's going to extend his right arm, and then does the defender grab? Receiver's extending his arm, defender trying to stay in the play. I don't have a clear look of a grab there. I'm going to go to my low left, behind the action. Tough to see. TV's giving us that same look. Can't tell from that angle if there's a hook. We'll go to this shot here, which is my high end zone. Again, there's nothing here. Now the ball's in the air. Does he grab that? I just can't tell from that angle. There's not a ton.
Whether or not the defender's right arm is.
Yeah, that's the key, Chris. I don't have a clear look as to whether that grab is restricting, if there even is a grab. So after further review, the ruling on the field stands.
Got it. Is it free?
After review, there is no foul for defensive pass interference. The pass is incomplete. It's first down, Orlando. Dallas is charged its first time out of the half and may not challenge for the remainder of the game.
And so you heard the big call there made by Dean Blandino in our command center. Let's check in with Dean if we can. And Dean, is that one of those issues where whatever was called on the field you had to stay with?
Basically, Kurt, yeah, we're looking for something clear-cut. There definitely was some contact and the arms got tangled, but I couldn't tell if the defender actually hooked the arm and prevented the receiver from getting to the football. The officials ruled no flag, and it just wasn't obvious enough to change for me.
All right, thank you very much, Dean. I think the transparency of the officiating in this league is another thing that I really love when we call these games. You know why the call was made or not made.
Dallas is not permitted to call 2 timeouts in a row.
Dallas was trying to call a timeout before Orlando got set, and after turning this over on downs, Orlando's going to take the football back at the 35-yard line, and you can see what they've done the last 3 possessions.
Monday.
This is really an important defensive series for Dallas.
Here we go. Sit down. Hey, you gonna be on 180. Wait, son.
Rolling, reversing. Short pickup on the play. Only a yard.
Well, that last series that Orlando had, part of the 3 straight touchdown drives, they had a 3rd and 7, a 3rd and 10, and a 3rd and 11 that they converted on that drive. And just like on the other side, and Jake pointed out that Devontae Beckett and Isaiah Buggs were out, and that's why Dallas was running the football. Remember, Willie Taylor has 4 sacks in the year. He left this game with an injury, and Tayshawn Bauer, he's missing this game with a calf injury. Those are 2 of their edge rushers. I can't help but think that they're also missing 2 of those guys in the front 7 that can help on 3rd down.
Elijah Dotson stopped right about the line of scrimmage by Matt Jones, and now it's a 3rd down for Orlando.
This is a massive play right here for the Dallas Renegades. They have got to get a stop here on 3rd and 9.
10. Oh, here we go. Gun change left classy, F shuffle.
Be careful. We blathered up these officials. I understand. Let's go.
Let's go. See Rick Neuheisel's sleeves flapping in the wind. Right now, Orlando will be kicking into the wind, and their kicker has missed 2 long field goals in this direction. But they won't have to kick right now as they convert the 3rd down. Elijah Badger all the way down to the 20-yard line, just fights his way for 14 yards.
And again, they're missing their 2 best pass rushers. And so what do you see? You see a rush that just doesn't go anywhere. They're trying to loop around here. They're trying to go here. Nothing is getting home. Plummer's got all day in the pocket, and he's able to find the crossing route right there to Badger. And he gets a 1st down. Now, Plummer's doing a great job. You can see just those subtle movements to get himself a free area to throw the football, and he's able to throw it accurately down the field, but just no pass rush on these 3rd downs.
Hands it off. Elijah Dotson cutting it back. Keeps those legs churning. They lift up. But a good 7-yard run on 1st down by Dotson.
And Kurt, that is now 4 straight 3rd down conversions on what I would consider to be 3rd and long. Orlando in the last series had those 3 third and longs. That one, 3rd and long again. No pressure on Plummer. He's able to sit there, find the completion, and now run the ball efficiently on 1st down. Brings up a really great situation here, 2nd and short.
Plummer on the keeper, out to Rowland. He gets the 1st down again.
Tell you what I love about Chris Rowland.
What's there not to?
Well, exactly. And he runs great routes. He's reliable catching the football. But once he has the football in his hands, he's one of those guys you can tell that just hates to be tackled. He just refuses to go down. He's looking for those extra yards every single time that he's got his hands on the football.
Timeout. Injury for Dallas. We'll check it out when we come back.
I have active psoriatic arthritis.
Well, Orlando trying to add a little bit more to the lead. Dallas trying to get a defensive stop here in the 4th quarter in front of the crowd at Fort Hood, Texas. First ever professional game on a military base, and we are proud to bring it to you here at Fox Sports, and this is an important one for Orlando, who can officially clinch a playoff berth in the UFL with a win tonight. 1st and goal from the 7. And that's KJ Hamler right into the end zone for the touchdown.
Right over the cannons, you see the cannon scared him as he goes in for the score. I tell you, Orlando has done such a good job of attacking this defense and the scheme that they're using. They're trying to run this man coverage, and it keeps biting him because he's just going to come around on a little bit of a jet sweep here. And as he gets the football, he just runs away from the defender trying to trail him, who's just too deep. But then here's the best part. Here he is. Score. I got a touchdown. Yeah, you bet. And then, that cannon went off right over
He suddenly remembered he was on an Army base.
Oh, that's great.
I'll tell you right now, Orlando lowering the boom. Dallas led this game 10-0. Since then, it's been a 31-7 run by Orlando. KJ Hamler with the 4th rushing touchdown for this Orlando offense tonight.
Here's another look.
That'll scare you.
Yeah, you bet.
Rightfully so.
Oh, my goodness. I'm sure he felt that right in his chest. Oh, man. I tell you, you see the speed, though, right, for Hamler. And Jake, I know he was a teammate of yours when you guys were with the Broncos. And I know that he struggled with injuries, as you did when you were a Denver Bronco. But he had those hamstring injuries. He struggled with that earlier this season, but he looks fresh. And when he's fresh, man, he can fly.
Yeah, Joe, I mean, he's such an electric athlete. I mean, that's been evident since his days at Penn State. I mean, he's consistently the fastest guy in the field. And what you saw there down in the low red zone, just put the ball in his hands with space on the edge, and he'll give you a touchdown.
Yeah, he was a 2nd-round pick. And that was Jake's 4th season in Denver, his rookie season they were together. Hamler had 3 touchdowns as a rookie that year for Denver. And as you said, the injuries kind of caught up with him in his NFL career. Now trying to bounce back. He's had a really good season for Orlando so far. Here's Drake Stoops trying to get Dallas back in this. Orlando feeling themselves right now. Why not? They're on a run. And we talked about Jake Butt and KJ Hamler playing together back in the day.
Here we go.
I didn't realize it's the same color uniform scheme almost.
Got right.
Hadn't thought about that.
61, Y pressure F caddy.
He probably, I don't know, they have a lot of noise there at Mile High.
Yeah,
so he's maybe used to that.
Yeah, that's right. He wasn't used to that cannon, though.
Here we go. Tax, 180.
All right, Dallas.
Like
the pressure's on right now. 10.5 minutes left. Down by 2 scores. And just led Merriweather too much. Jake.
All right, KJ, great touchdown, but did the cannon catch you off guard?
Yeah, I thought I was back in Pontiac. Kind of scared me. I keep forgetting that they do the little cannon after the tug.
Did you sit it?
What? Nothing. Yeah, so I forgot.
Well, regardless, great touchdown. Great to see you out there.
Y Honda on the turbo, right?
And two old buddies hanging out on the sideline, huh?
Here we go.
How about a little backfire as well? You got to be careful no matter which side of the cannon you're on.
That's
turbo
so
set.
And Reed on second down, being chased out of the pocket. Picks up the first. $13 yards on the run. And there's still plenty of time, almost 10 minutes left, 2 timeouts.
Here we go.
Well, and when you think about it, though,
Sonic Vic, that's fine, on one, right?
if I was Rick Neuheisel,
Nice job.
I'd start thinking about, like, depending on the time,
Money.
if you're able to go down and score a touchdown, do you just go 4th and 12? Because this Dallas defense has not stopped Orlando one time all night long.
Yeah, the only 2 series that Orlando has not scored on were the first 2 of the game when they kicked into the wind and missed both those field goals. Otherwise, they've scored every time.
Tax.
And so it has been a challenging night for the Renegades.
Turbo set.
Merriweather, first down and more. Good run. That ball came out late. But he gets the first down and moves the chains.
Hey, copy. Easy. Hey, 65, tax. White Honda. Here we go. White 80. Hey, we're good. We got to go. Turbo set.
Reed puts everything into that one. Incomplete, intended for Tyler Vaughns.
Well, Vaughns has been quiet tonight. 4 targets now, only 2 catches, and they're just trying to target him down the field.
Here we go.
Trying to get him matched up on a safety. I think that ball might have been tipped right out of the hand. You know, there was some pressure on Reed in the backfield. And I think that one of those pass rushers might have just gotten the elbow of Reed, and that's why that ball kind of fluttered to the inside.
Turbo set.
Pressure coming. Reed chased and open in the middle of the field is Seth Green again. Nice completion and throw on the run by Reed.
They're going to continue to move fast, but I tell you, Reed just continues this same theme that we've seen all night long, which is his ability to elude the rush, get on the edge, and find a completion down the field.
Gain of 19.
Cinco left.
To the Orlando 13-yard line.
Here we go. Turbo shot.
Reed looking for a man. And throws that one away.
Remember this Orlando defense, very good once you get into the red zone. They were terrific last week against Houston. It's really the reason that they won that game. Anthony Beck's defense.
Turbo, trigger left, Sonic Brady, F fine, on the one, right.
Led by Donnie Abraham, that is the top scoring defense in the UFL, and a big reason is because they are so difficult to score against once you get into the red zone.
Turbo set.
They hand it off to Merriweather. Ellis Merriweather spinning his way out inside the 10-yard line. Gain of 5.
Well, it's certainly 4-down territory. Now, 6.5.
No!
Need the ball a couple of times.
They're playing Tampa 2. Here we go. On the tax. Tight left tear, 51 car wash on the turbo, right? Gotta get set. Car wash. Tear. Here we go.
Play clock winding down.
Turbo set.
They get it off. Everybody coming for Reed and backpedaling. Can't connect with Baylor Cup. 4th down. And as you said, you got to go for it here, right?
Yeah, you got to go for it, obviously. I think that's the play here for Rick Neuheisel. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that Orlando's offense has been so good. You can't really expect a stop. kick it, you'd
Hey,
still
dual
need the
left
ball
fly,
twice.
64 Renegade on the turbo, ready. We gotta get set, gotta get set. 64. 64, 64. 64. Turbo
10th play of the drive. Reed has the time, throws it high, and it is caught. Emmanuel Butler's second touchdown of the game, and it draws Dallas to within a score.
I love this concept here because they're going to attack the secondary knowing that these guys are going to sit with their heels on the goal line. They're going to run man coverage. So watch this safety right here. He's just going to sit with his heels on the goal line. You can get right over the top of him, and Butler's able to do that. You see, there's the squat, and then Reed just puts it up right back at the end line, and Butler is able to go back, get his hands on the football, and come down with it for a touchdown. That's a really good series. They had to have it. Couple of conversions there, and they punch it in the end zone.
Colton Thieker on to make it a 7-point game. This has been back and forth. We saw Orlando extend the lead to 2 scores, but Dallas answers. Second time tonight, Reed and Butler hook up, and it's a 1-score game going into the final minutes here in the fourth quarter. 1-score game, and being down in the fourth quarter, you have the option instead of an onside kick in the UFL. You go for it on 4th down, 12 yards to go. If you convert, you keep the ball, but Rick Neuheisel deciding not to do that here.
Well, I thought they would consider it. I brought it up in that last possession, and the only reason that I brought it up is that they have not stopped Orlando at all. Orlando has scored touchdowns on 4 straight drives. You know, they've got 2 timeouts left, so plenty of time if they kick it, obviously. I don't think it's a clock thing as much as it is just a defense thing. And remember, they've gotten themselves into 3rd and long situations to get themselves off the field and been unable to do it.
And remember, the flip side of it, though, is if you don't get it, you give them great field position.
That's right.
And they haven't been able to stop Jack Plummer and company tonight.
No, and in particular on those 3rd downs that I was talking about, they have been relentless converting on 3rd and long, and Jack Plummer has had time in the pocket. The pass rush has not been there, and that's a big reason why this Orlando team has been able to go up and down the field.
You see the numbers passing for Plummer. He's also got 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 for 1 yard and 1 for 71 yards. So he's been a big part of this offense, which has really turned things around after being down 10-0.
Good eye. 180! What's up?
In and out of the hands of Hamler. Let's go to his former teammate, Jake Butts. What do you got to say about that, Jake?
Well, not much about that drop, but I'll tell you, it doesn't change the mindset of Orlando's offense. Right after that Dallas score, they all got together as an offensive unit and said, hey, guys, we are not worried. They cannot stop us. Let's go put a dagger in this game, which is what they're hoping to do on this drive.
Look for signals. Gun dual right, 22 Willie, on 1 right.
And as you said, they haven't been able to stop them.
No.
Here we go, gotta go.
You know, the clock rules in the UFL, you can throw incompletions, and the clock starts when the play clock hits 30, so that's why you see the game clock still moving.
Trey Stewart. 3rd down.
Well, here you go, right? I mean, we've seen this time and time again. Last week, Orlando, terrible on 3rd down, 2 of 10. Tonight, they've been amazing, 9 of 13. They've converted their last 7 on 3rd down, but none bigger than this one. Dallas has to have it. Can they get off the field here?
Here we go.
Look at those numbers. 10 of 11 on 3rd down through the air.
180! What's up?
On 3rd and 5 to the air. And I think Plummer got hit in his lower body, got a little bit more on that pass intended for Hamler than he wanted to, and so this Dallas defense does get the stop.
And how about Mike Gilhammer? He says, okay, none of this rushing 4. You're going to get pressure here from the 2nd level. And that just causes, I think, Plummer to feel that rush right off of his right side. And he had him here. That ball, it looked like it slipped out of his hands. He has a step there, and Rick Neuheisel loving it. First time in a few series that he sees his defense force a punt. Really, first time all night that they've forced him to punt.
This is the first punt all night for Orlando's offense. Jack Browning on to do the duties. Gets the kick off. You can hear Rick Neuheisel saying, get away from it. And so it will take a Dallas bounce, and they'll have good starting field position across the 30-yard line, needing one score to tie the game, less than 3.5 to go. Both teams have put points on the board tonight. 31-24, less than 3.5 to go. As Dallas, this is probably, Jenny, their most important drive of the season.
Kurt, no doubt their most important drive, but I'm loving the energy right now I'm seeing from the sideline. After that touchdown from Emmanuel Butler, Neuheisel has been so positive, complimenting everyone. Great job, great drive, great job up front. The energy from Austin Reed saying, let's go, guys. Ellis Merriweather's all over the defense, complimenting them, making sure they finish this thing on their terms.
All right, first down play is a short run of a yard by Lorenzo Lingard, and this is important for Dallas because they've lost 4 in a row. If they lose tonight, they drop to 3 and 5 and realistically are done in the playoff run. They need a win tonight to stay alive.
4 downs.
Orlando with a win clinches a playoff spot. Reed. Intercepted. In and out of the hands of Baylor Cupp. It bounced around, and Deion Jennings finally brought it home for the Storm defense.
Drops have plagued Dallas all night. Mims dropped a touchdown. He dropped another one that would have been a first down. And here, Baylor Cupp over the middle of the field, and it hits him right in the face mask. Ball gets tipped around. Deion Jennings is right there, and he picks it off. I mean, you can't execute that any better as a quarterback. The route was correct. He settles down across the middle of the field against zone coverage. Austin Reed can't believe it. That's the 3rd ball that he has thrown on the money tonight that has just been flat dropped.
And so now Orlando will try and run out the clock. That's Chris Rowland, who has been a big part of this offense tonight. And this Orlando defense, this is only a 7th takeaway in 8 games all season.
I tell you what, I mean, it's right in his face mask. Baylor Cupp has got to bring that in. And how about Deion Jennings on the tip drill? And then fired up Jack Plummer in the Orlando offense. This has been quite a game for Orlando. Started off slow with those 2 missed field goals. They're down 10-0, but they didn't panic, and they stayed with their game plan. They came out defensively. They made a couple of adjustments and then got in the stops when they needed to get the stops.
Well, they need to get a couple of conversions here, and they won't on this play as Jashawn Corbin is stopped 2 yards away from a first. It'll be a 3rd down as we approach the 2-minute warning.
Timeout, Dallas. Their second of the half.
Dallas has got a great opportunity here to get a stop. They're going to call this timeout here before the 2-minute warning, so they'll get the stoppage after this next play.
As many guys up there to stop.
And here Rick Neuheisel, he wants everybody up near the line of scrimmage. He firmly believes that Orlando is going to try to run this football.
We're not. I don't want to be backed off in 0 either. I want to be on the line.
You know, if you're Orlando, the clock's going to stop anyways. You know, whether it's a 2-minute warning after this play. So you can throw the football here if you would like to on 3rd and 2. And again, they've taken advantage of that man coverage. They get a crossing route here.
No, they added some time to the clock during that timeout. So 2:12 left as the pass is caught by Sean Bowman, and he picks up the first down.
Is the clock going to run? Is the clock going to run?
They'll wind the clock. It's outside of 2 minutes, and so now it'll go down to 2 minutes, and we'll have the 2-minute warning. What a great conversion there. A little fake on the 2 play on the interior. Tight end on the outside. It's a first down in Orlando, headed to 6 and 2.
Well, experience professional football action in person by getting your UFL tickets right now. Visit ufl.com/tickets, or you can scan the QR code on your screen for more information. And tonight, we come to you from Fort Hood, the U.S. Army base. in Texas.
180!
Part of our Hats Off the Heroes weekend here in the UFL, and they've seen an entertaining game. 55 combined points. Back and forth
Timeout,
scoring.
Dallas.
And Orlando
Their third and final
will force Dallas to use
of
its
the
final
half.
timeout as they try
30.
and seal this game away.
All right, now, they're going to get 35 and 35. A minute 10 off of this clock, so that's 45. We're going to be around 35 seconds. So we're going to go our open Valerie, okay? You've got to take it, look at the ball down the field, and then we're going to run up and we're going to block it, and then we look for the middle jump, okay? Right? Whatever it takes.
Yeah, we got to make some happen.
Yeah.
23 easy. Come on, 8.
You know, Rick Neuheisel was talking about the clock, and he's right. They can get the ball back with about 30 seconds left, right around the 35 seconds left. My question is depending on how far Orlando can get here and the length of the fourth down, would they go for it? And would they kick the field goal? The field goal would then essentially end the game.
Come on, we gotta
and of
stop him
course,
right here.
Michael Lance has been the best kicker in the UFL this year, 11 of 13 coming into today's ball game. He did miss twice, Kurt, tonight. It was 50 yards, both of them, 50 and 51, into the win. They are still into the win at this point, and if they didn't gain another yard, it would be right around 49 to 50 yards at this point. So Anthony Becht is going to have to make a decision here after this third down play.
If they don't pick up the first down, pardon me. Jashawn Corbin does, though. And the clock is down to a minute 10. Dallas out of timeouts, and that may have done it.
That'll do it. Don't have to go through any of those gymnastics. And Anthony Becht is going back to the playoffs. He has been a mainstay in the playoffs. His teams in St. Louis, each of the last 2 years, lost in the conference championship game. And he comes into Orlando this year, and he's going to go back to the postseason.
And this is a team that has handled adversity. They started off winning their first 4 games, then got on a 2-game losing streak, but now put together back-to-back victories. They get to 6-2 once we hit to all zeros, and they'll be the first team this season to clinch a playoff berth.
Man, what a performance by this offense, right? I mean, Jack Plummer was outstanding. You know, he's going to mask what is going to continue to be rushing issues. You know, they don't run the football that well with their backs. He had that, what was it, 71-yard
71-yard touchdown run after their 1-yard touchdown dive.
But the key to this game was Jack Plummer on third down. He was outstanding, moving the chains, keeping his offense on the field, ultimately putting them in the end zone. He was 24 of 36 for 238. And he's the reason that they're going to get this win.
Best of luck.
And he puts them into the postseason officially. The Orlando Storm have clinched a playoff spot in the 2026 UFL postseason. They get the victory 31-24 here at Fort Hood. We'll be back to wrap things up on the other side. So in their first year in existence in the UFL, the Orlando Storm become the first team to clinch a playoff berth. They go to 6-2, so they are officially in. St. Louis and DC have a chance to get in this weekend, but right now it's all about the Storm, who get the victory. Their head coach on the sideline there with Jake Butt.
Well, Coach, it was a hard-fought win last week, another hard-fought win tonight. Your team officially clinched a playoff spot. What can you say about the resiliency of your team?
It's outstanding. You know, we're 4-2 a couple weeks ago, right? Backs against the wall, a lot of doubt. Are they for real? Are they not? We're trying to find our best game. Really haven't found our best game completely, but when the moment matters, we come up big. It's a hell of a second half now. We spot a team 10 points. We spot a team last week. We keep spotting these teams' points, but we keep coming back, which is great. We don't want to live in that world, but I'm really proud of my staff putting together a great game plan. We trust our players. You know, sometimes it doesn't look pretty, but at the end of the day, man, these guys keep fighting. And, you know, the juice was good. It was a great environment, too, man, to play in front of the military family is really great. Fort Hood did an awesome job. Just, it's a fun game, real fun game.
A big part of that plan and team success is your quarterback, Jack Plummer. I know you just rave about him. Another big game tonight. What can you say about what he means to your team's success?
Well, you know, at the quarterback position, you got to be a great leader, right? You got to be able to manage everything. Play comes in wrong, can you fix it? You know, get us in the right spot. You know, can you hang in the pocket, make the big play on third down? There was a couple third downs in that third quarter where he stood in there, trusted his guys, and got the ball out. And then he had that big run. I didn't think he had it in him, you know what I'm saying? But I'm proud of him. You know, I was like, you feel a little awkward after the 20, 25, 30 mark? And he's like, yeah, Coach, I didn't really know know what was going on, but Cam Camper made a hell of a block, though, the effort. So those are the little things that show up with our football team. It's the other things that the guys are doing that nobody talks about that made that run go. But it's a great read by Jack. He made a big play, and that's what you're supposed to do. So we have a really athletic quarterback that can beat you with your arm, and if you want to cheat it, he can beat you with your legs.
Yeah, well, great win, and congrats on clinching a playoff spot, Coach.
Playoffs,
we'll see you down the
Appreciate
stretch.
you.
That's right.
That's
right. Kurt?
All right, and so Orlando is in the playoffs. Jack Plummer, over 230 yards passing. That 71-yard touchdown run, really the play of the game as they win at 31-24. In our Hats Off to Heroes game from Fort Hood. For Joel Klatt, Jenny Tapp, Jake Button, our entire Fox Sports crew, I'm Kurt Menefee saying thank you to all of our service members, not only here at Fort Hood, but for what they do for all of us from all around the world. Good night from Fort Hood.